Okay, so last thing that we're going to go over for the user interface is the project browser, which is kind of a very key thing to use Revit, because obviously it allows you to get to all the different views and sheets and stuff like that. So what I did on mine is I actually minimized everything, so you can see the different categories in the project browser. So you can see views are obviously the floor plans and everything like that, sections and elevations that you'll use to create your designs. Legends are any types of legends that you would create. Schedules are obviously schedules that you create. Sheets are obviously they're kind of like layouts, the layout tabs in AutoCAD. So it's basically the sheets that you'll use to be printed. Families. This category right here is populated by every time you load in a family. So if I do, if I loaded in a window, it'll show up here. If I expand this, you can see that every single type of family that's loaded in already shows. So walls. I showed you that drop in the last video. I showed you, I did wall and I showed you all the different types. If I clicked on this, here's all the different types of walls. So this is just kind of like a library of all the families that have been put into the project. Sometimes this is used to help you find certain things, which we'll probably explore in a later video, because there's certain um, types of families that can only be edited through here instead of doing the edit type, and we'll get to that. The groups tab, or the groups kind of the group I should say, is basically I showed you on the modify tab how you can group things. If you ever group something, and then you can see how, remember when I did group and I had to name it something, it actually will be populated here, so you can see all the different groups that you have in the project. But those are the two quick ones that you go over. Now I want to explain how I set up the view, this views group where all the views are populated. So what I did is, you can see how it says discipline next to them. So I've created a grouping method that groups all the views by discipline. So you have architecture, coordination, electrical, mechanical, plumbing, and structural. And then each one has, you can see here how it says construction documents. Obviously, for coordination, electrical, mechanical, plumbing, and structural, everything's there is going to be construction documents, because that's are going to be really the areas that we're going to need construction documents for. So if you ever expand any of these, they always say construction documents, and then if you expand it again, that's where you'll have floor plans. Right now, there's only floor plans and 3D views for all the ones after coordination, and then coordination itself actually only has the 3D view, which is if you hit this, the 3D view up here, this is the 3D view. You can see how it's black. So whatever highlights in black is the view it's currently active. So that's the view. So that's where that view is. But you can see under architecture tab, I have preliminary / schematic design and construction documents. So basically anything that's under preliminary, is stuff that you'll, kind of like schematic design drawings that you'll probably be doing for like the midterm presentations, where it's more basic designs that you've been doing in your previous studios, where you're kind of just presenting your ideas and stuff like that. So these are more kind of generic floor plans that don't go into a lot of details and stuff like that. And you can see there's floor plans and elevations. And then if you click on construction documents, you have all the different types of plans and elevations and stuff that you're going to need for construction documents, and then sections and stuff will be generated. But the thing that I want you to remember here is, unlike AutoCAD, you never have to reproduce anything again. So say I do, if I put a wall, actually, let me do this in the way that you guys will be doing it. If I put a wall, like say I'm in, so I'm in preliminary schematic design, I'm on the first floor, and, I put in a wall, and, this is how I'm designing my stuff. The first floor So that's on the first floor in preliminary schematic design. Now when I go to the first floor in construction documents, I still see that wall. It's just the settings are already set up to display the detail of that wall, so you get more of a detailed look at it, and it's actually construction documents where the floor plan. On the preliminary side, it's just the wall, and it's just the two outer lines, so you can kind of get the basic idea of what the wall is going to be. Um, so it's never that you have to draw anything more than once, because it's already there. Unless obviously if you draw something from the annotate tab, since this is all stuff that's a view by view basis. And then you can see both in the preliminary tab, I have 1, 4, 5, and all these different numbers next to it. And then construction documents, you can see that there was A503 before first floor. Those coincide to the sheets. So if I expand the preliminary sheets, you can see that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if I look back up, that means 4. So the first floor, is for sheet 4. This sheet, and then the same holds true for for construction documents. So this is let me see if the plans go on this. So this is A102, which is the first floor. And if I open the architectural, obviously A is for architectural. So then you would expand architectural, and then you see A102 is the first floor. So that's how that starts to be set up there. And then now I want to show you how you actually get this stuff, to actually be in the proper categories. So if I click on the first floor, you can see that discipline is architectural, and then you can pick between the 5 disciplines that make up this coordination, electrical, mechanical. You can pick. So that's how you get it into the first category. And then there is a button that says sub-discipline here that says either construction documents or preliminary schematic design. You can see this is grayed out because I have a view template that I've actually assigned to all these different views. So if I click on this view template, you can see I have architectural plan CDs, architectural schematic plans, life safety plans, mechanical plans, and stuff like that. So each of these views already has a template assigned to it. So if I expand life safety plan, it's a life safety. This one got changed on me. I can switch it back. So this already has views and everything set up with scales and everything automatically, but it still allows you to change them if need be. The same for the ceiling plans. You're reflected, and same with elevations. Then if you look at the preliminary stuff, these floor plans are schematic design, so that information is already set up, and it knows to come in automatically as a preliminary design. But the one thing that I want to show is, so I'm in the second floor construction documents, and I'm going to draw a section. And since I'm in construction documents, or since I was in the architectural discipline, it knows to keep that drawn as an architectural discipline. But you can see how it put it in another category with check marks next to it because it doesn't know what to assign it to. But if you expand and go on to section 1, you can do one of two things. You can either find that sub-discipline category and pick either preliminary design or construction documents. But I have created a view template for sections, so you can do architectural section. I'm actually going to check that for you guys. You can do architectural section and add that in. And then again, it wasn't because I didn't set up an architectural section for CDs or preliminary design. So you'd still have to go in and actually choose. So if I do sub-discipline construction documents, it now puts it in construction documents. You can see sections, building section. And you have it's there. Now if I did a section that was, say I wanted to, on the first floor. Uh, then and the thing with sections is a lot of times you kind of have to like duplicate the view and copy it around. Um, so like you may actually do, because you don't want to have double like views of a section. Um, so you actually may put, when you actually do a section first, you probably put it in schematic design. So like when you cut a section, if I, so I actually I switched that to preliminary design, and it's now in this, it's shown up in the preliminary design category. And then so you would set up your section in preliminary design, and then when you get to this construction document page, you probably right click, hit duplicate with detail, and what that does is it creates a copy of that section, and then you can move that copy to construction documents, and then from there change it to be a construction document section. That's probably the best way to get the sections between the two, and that's why you would notice that I don't have any sections set up already as a view, because one, your projects are going to be different, so you may have different sections cuts that you want to do, and for that reason, you don't want to create them already. And then so it's the same type of idea for the rest of the views. If you ever do more views, um, you know it's the same setup. Pick discipline, and then if there's a sub-discipline, these categories, as you can see, how it already knows to create categories for floor plans and ceiling plans and elevations, and then when you add a section, it adds a section category already, so there's no issue there. You don't have to worry about trying to get those to be right; they come in automatically. Um, so the last thing I want to show, well, actually first let me show schedule. So these are schedules. I already have a room schedule and a space schedule set up. A space schedule we'll talk about when we get into later on in the semester. But if you ever add a room, so if you go to the architecture tab and you ever put a room in your drawings, a room tag, this list will start to be populated with rooms. You can see I have a sheet list schedule already created, and this are basically, so preliminary design, so these are all my sheets. So under the preliminary design, these are all the sheets that have already been created, and if I expand it, they're there. And then if I expand, like the general tab, it talks about architectural tab. If I expand those, that's all the different sheets that we may have. Again, look at these. You see there's a lot here. Again, they may not all be actually used at the end of the semester. It depends what the professors determine what they need, or what they're going to be requiring for your final submissions at the end. Um, but you see that list is already populated, so you can always add in, you can add in a sheet. If you did like new sheet, you can pick, this is the title block that I've created for you guys, which is right there. This is what it looks like. And then you can see when I created the title block, a new sheet, it doesn't know where to go, so it comes in with check marks. But when you click on the sheet itself, you can actually, and it's the same kind of like a view, I can find sheet discipline, and you can see I have the 8 categories that make up here, so I could always add it to architectural, and then I can give it a new name so it meets the A's, something, if I wanted to. So that's kind of it for the project browser, and how it's set up. I am actually going to do one last video. I actually didn't think they were going to be this long. I guess the user interface is more detailed than I thought, since I've been using it for so long. I'm kind of used to it. But the last video I'm actually going to show you how to actually put views on a sheet, and to actually print stuff. To print the sheet after. And it's actually very simple to do. So shouldn't be too bad.